About a month ago on the channel, I discussed the Chicago Blackhawks and their situation ahead of the season. In that video, my friend Ryan and I went in detail over how much the team will miss Corey Crawford and briefly mentioning young centerman Kirby Dach as well as captain Jonathan Toews, and how much the loss of those players will mean to the Hawks. Obviously, those players are being missed right now by the Blackhawks. However, a handful of rookies have stepped up in their place. Kevin Lankin, Pius Suter, Ian Mitchell, Philip Kurichev, and Brandon Hagel have all filled the roles they've needed to quite nicely. So today I will be talking about the 5 young Hawks stars and how much they have stepped up, and what to expect when Kirby Dach returns to the lineup, as well as an interview with Brandon Hagel that I was fortunate enough to get back in the summer of 2019. Without further ado, let's get into it. We will begin by discussing Kevin Lankin, the Blackhawks' starting goalie, who has quickly inserted himself into the Calder Trophy conversation. Lankin, who beat out Malcolm Subban for the starting job, has been amazing this year. He is 25 years old and is looking extremely similar to Jordan Binnington's 2019 Stanley Cup run when he led the Blues all the way to the championship. And just like Binnington, not many people that aren't Blackhawks fans knew who Lankin was until this year. Lankin's stat line is quite impressive, as he has a .924 save percentage and a 2.57 goals against average, and he has won so many close games for the Hawks, as he has 9 wins, 3 losses, and 4 overtime losses at the time of this recording, which isn't great, but it's good enough to be the starter on the team that is currently all alone in 4th place and only 3 points back of 1st place at the time of this recording, ahead of the Blue Jackets, Predators, and Red Wings, and as well as the defending Western Conference champions, the Dallas Stars, as the Blackhawks sit with 31 points. Lankin is to be credited for a majority of their success, leading a team to just a few points away from the top spot in the division in a year many, including myself, thought would be a rebuild without Corey Crawford. And the Finnish stud Kevin Lankin will keep the Hawks in the postseason race, and he is not a bad replacement for Crawford, but any fan would tell you Crow was irreplaceable. Now let's discuss the void captain Jonathan Toews left behind. As Toews stepped away from hockey before the season, it didn't give the Hawks much time to replace the star. So it was about a player stepping up when the team needed it. That being Switzerland-born Pius Suter. Pius Suter has jumped into the number 1 line role and has played like a seasoned vet. Suter is in between the great Patrick Kane as well as Alex DeBrincat and has looked really comfortable. Suter is really talented and again another older rookie at 24 years old. He has filled Toews' role quite nicely, as the pressure doesn't seem to get to him that much, and his line mates trust him in all situations. He is tied for 4th on the team in goals with 8, and he is also tied for 8th on the team in assists with 5. Nobody can replace Captain Sirius, but Pius Suter is looking like another young Blackhawks star that will impress the entire National Hockey League for many years to come. Next up, defenseman Ian Mitchell, who is filling the role on the top pair alongside Duncan Keith, a role previously belonged to Brent Seabrook, but with Seabs out and officially retired, Mitchell on that top pair spot looks very solid. Mitchell is 22 years old and a rookie who played great at the University of Denver, where he was the team's captain. And last year, he picked up 32 points in just 36 games, and his defensive play really stood out. Ian Mitchell is handling the pressure pretty well. of being on the top pair. And the Callahoo Kid, as we call him back home, is doing great alongside future Hall of Famer Duncan Keith. We will now discuss Philip Kurichev, who is the youngest player in this video at just 21 years old. He is looking like another gem for the Hawks, similar to Dominik Kubalik. Kurichev is a really fun player to watch as he has about 10 points on the season. He is another guy that has fit into the group really well, and we've seen a ton of young Blackhawks players come in and make a real difference quickly, meaning the team hasn't really went through a rebuild. They've used their late round draft picks from their main cup run to get players that are extremely talented, and they have a great young core. Kurichev has scored some highlight reel goals this year, and he will continue to do so as his career progresses. And now on to Brandon Hagel, and the moment you've all been waiting for. Here's my interview with the Blackhawks young right winger. Enjoy. Hello, I'm here with Brandon Hagel, and I have some questions written out that I'm going to ask him. So let's get into it. Brandon, if you were to compare yourself to one NHL player, who would it be?
I like to compare myself to Andrew Shaw. I think he works hard. He's got a lot of character, and that's someone who I want to see my game after. And I think he's really good. He's a really good guy to look up to.
Now, you were a 6th round draft pick by the Buffalo Sabres. And who did you look up to as a kid? What NHL player?
I've always been a big fan of Alex Ovechkin. I mean, I don't really model my game after him, but he's definitely someone I looked up to going into the NHL.
And what's your go-to pregame meal?
I'd have to say chicken fettuccine Alfredo.
Now, you just recently signed your entry-level contract with the Hawks last fall. How does that feel to know that you might get a chance this year?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty good. Obviously, it takes a lot of hard work. I was excited to sign with them, but definitely going into the season, I got to do whatever I can, and I had a pretty good summer, I think. So, I mean, going into the season, it's got to be pretty good.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. Hope you enjoyed my interview with Hagel, and he's making a huge impact on the Blackhawks this season, as he's really become a penalty-killing god to an extent in Chicago. Lots of Hawks fans are very happy with his penalty-killing abilities, and all around just his aggressiveness on the puck, and how he never really gives up and lets a play die. At the end of a shift, he can push it down the ice and still try to make something happen instead of just dumping it in and getting a change. Now, when Kirby Dach comes back to the lineup, I likely think he'll fit into the second-line center role behind Pius Suter, as I don't think that they will split up that Suter-Kane, the Brinkett line, because it has been really good so far for Jeremy Colleton and the Chicago Blackhawks. So I think that Dach will fill in for Soderberg, but we don't really know how long Kirby Dach is going to be out. He might not play this season, might play at the end of the year. Nobody really knows, but hopefully he does make a return, and that's where I think he will fit. And then when he is back, that team is unstoppable on the forward group. So thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure that you hit that like button and subscribe. Go over to my second channel. Yes, I have a new second channel, sort of new. I talk about football there once a week, so go check that out. Top link in the description, Mighty Angus. So check that out. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.